All right, and that is a very quick introduction of great man theories, which is essentially the idea that some people are born with certain traits that make them more effective leaders. The next type of leader-centric theories we'll talk about are behavioral theories. So these are still focusing on the leader, but now the idea is that effective leadership is not who you are, it is what you do. And if we want to understand effective leaders, then we need to understand effective leadership behavior. And behavioral theories split leadership behaviors into two distinct categories. We have task-oriented behaviors, which are all about actually accomplishing work and getting work done. And then we have relationship-oriented behaviors, which are about facilitating the connecting to people as people and making sure everyone's getting along and feeling valued and being motivated. So task-oriented behaviors are anything that facilitate the accomplishment of work. This is stuff like goal setting, planning, scheduling. The emphasis is on the work per se. Relationship-oriented behaviors are behaviors that facilitate the inter and interpersonal aspects of work. This is things like building trust, listening, feedback, and persuasion. So it's connecting to people as people, it's making people feel good, helping them get along, resolving conflicts, all of those types of things. Now, we can take both of these types of behaviors and put them on a chart like this. And on the vertical axis, we have the dude with the shovel. That represents task-oriented behaviors, and we have high and low on that. The hand holding the heart represents relationship-oriented behaviors, and we also have high and low on that. And using this chart, we can create 4 styles of leadership. First style is what we call directive leadership style. This is a style of leadership that is high on task-oriented and low on relationship-oriented behaviors. If you've ever seen Pulp Fiction, then you're familiar with the scene where they accidentally kill someone. They need to take care of it, get rid of the body really quickly. So they call this dude, Mr. Wolf, the Wolf, played by Harvey Keitel, and he comes in and he starts barking orders at him: do this, do this, do this. And John Travolta goes, "Do this, please," like asking Harvey Keitel to say please and thank you. And Harvey Keitel's like, "Hey man, if I'm coming across Kurt, it's because we're in an emergency situation here. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to tell you how to get out of it." That's directive leadership, is I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to be successful. The next type of leadership style we'll talk about is participative leadership. This is leaders that are high in both task-oriented and people-oriented behaviors or relationship-oriented behaviors. I think ideally the American government should focus or should function high on task oriented and high on people oriented. We want a government that is effective at getting things done, but we also want a government that is inclusive, representative, and cares about the well being of its citizens. So ideally the American government should be high on task oriented and high on people oriented as well. The next leadership style we'll talk about is country club leadership. These are leaders that are high on relationship-oriented behaviors and low on task-oriented behaviors. And the most stereotypical example of this is, of course, Michael Scott from The Office. He really cared about people liking him and being friends with him to the point where he would often obstruct them getting work done so that they could connect on a personal level, right? He would have all these meetings, throw parties, prevent people from doing their work so that he could connect to them on a personal level. So that is country club leadership. High on relationship-oriented behaviors, low on task-oriented behaviors. And then lastly, we have leaders who are low on both task-oriented behaviors and relationship-oriented behaviors, and we call this free reign style of leadership. If you've ever watched Parks and Recreation, Ron Swanson has a free reign type of leadership. He's a libertarian. He hates the government, but he works for the government so he can sabotage it with inefficiency from within. So he is not task-oriented. He purposefully tries not to get work done. But he's also not people-oriented. He lives in a cabin in the woods. He doesn't want people to bother him. He keeps his office door shut all the time. He won't see citizens that have complaints, right? So he's low on both task-oriented and relationship-oriented behaviors, and we call that free reign leadership. So these are the 4 leadership styles. Your question is probably which of these is most effective, and the answer is We don't know. We have mixed findings about which of these styles is the most effective. When they started doing research on this, sometimes directive leadership would be most effective, sometimes free reign, sometimes participative. So why, right? We have these well described leadership styles. One of them should be more effective than the others.